We are talking about the energy flow, and in the last lecture we have seen the two major components of an ecosystem: producers and consumers. The another important factor or component of an ecosystem, it is nothing but the food chain and food web. These are the two different phenomena. Okay, food chain and food web. We know the food chain. Food chain, that means there are so many organisms dependent on another organism for their survival, for their energy and for their food. Okay, so food chains are the one chain of an organism where organisms are dependent on the another organism. For example, food chain, example of food chain, where first we will take one example: grasses. On those grasses there are some goat which are dependent, and on that goat there are some lions or other carnivores dependent. So it is called as a food chain where no other branches or no other animals beside this is available. This is called as food chain. But in nature such type of food chain is not available. Okay, food chains are there, but such isolated only food chains are not available in the nature, because if we eliminate one of the organism from that food chain, entire food chain is going to disturb. For example, in above example, grass, goat and lion. If from that lion is or goat is eliminated, think of that. If no goat are there, lion cannot be survive. Or if no goat are there, grasses are too much. Okay, it is dominated. Now the ecosystem is disturbed. So in the food chain, if one organism is eliminated, entire food chain is going to disturb. So such type of food chains are not available in the nature. In the nature, there are only food webs are available. Now what are the food webs? Food webs are nothing but the combination of many of the food chains which are interconnected to each other. You can see the picture on your screen, that is of food web. In that you can see there are producers, plants at the basic level, then primary consumers called as herbivorous, then secondary, then tertiary. But you can see one difference in that there are secondary and tertiary consumers. They are interconnected with the organisms of the another food chains. Okay, there are different food chains. You can imagine the food chains, single food chains are also there, but they are interconnected with each other, because if suppose in that food chain, if one organism is eliminated, the entire food chain and food web is not going to disturb, because the animals are having another options for their food. So what is the benefit of food web? If one organism is eliminated, there is no loss to the food web. But in the food chain, if one organism is eliminated, the entire food chain is going to disturb. So remember student that in nature not such food chain is available, there is only availability of food web. Okay, now there are mainly two types of the food chain in an ecosystem. Okay, one is the grazing food chain and second one is detritus food chain. These are two different food chains. Okay, grazing food chain, it is starting from the producers, that means the plants, phytoplanktons. Okay, grazing food chain. Then from producers it is going to the consumer, primary, secondary, tertiary. Okay, this is called as grazing food chain. It starts from the plant grasses. Okay, and on the another side, the detritus food chain, it is start from the dead organic matter. That is the major difference. Here producers are the starter. Here the dead organic material is the starter. When one of the organism is going to dead in an ecosystem or in an food chain, then the detritus food chain is going to start. Okay, here producers, consumers are the important components of the grazing food chain, and in the detritus food chain, decomposers play major role for this chain. Decomposers like fungi, bacteria, these are the decomposers. They secrete some of the enzymes so that the food chain, that chain, it is going to maintain. So decomposers are the main component of the detritus food chain, and producers, consumers are the main component of the grazing food chain. These are the two differences. So these food chains are totally different. One is the one that is the grazing food chain, it is dependent on the plants, animals, but the detritus food chain is totally depends on the decomposers. Okay, this is the major difference between the food chain and food web. Okay, then you can see that there is no introduction of human being in the food chain or food web. Why human is not introduced? Because there are some of the organisms or animals on these ecosystems, they cannot be fit in one trophic level. Trophic level we are going to study. But why human are not introduced? Because humans are omnivorous. Omnivorous means they can eat both herbivores and carnivores. That means they can feed on plants and animals also. They eat vegetables, then they are called as herbivorous. When they are feeding on the animals, they are called as carnivorous. So carnivorous and herbivorous, both type of feeding mechanism is there in case of human beings, so they are called as omnivorous. There are another examples of omnivorous are there. They cannot be included under these ecological pyramids. Okay, that's why human are not introduced in these food chain or these food webs. Next component of this energy flow is nothing but the trophic level. Now trophic level means what? Trophic level is nothing but the place or area of an organism in an ecosystem or in the food chain. That means there are food chains, each and every organism is there. The place of that organism, it is nothing but the trophic level of that organism. Now we can see there are first grasses, that is producers, then consumer, then primary, secondary, tertiary consumer. These are nothing but the trophic levels. That means the place where the organisms stand. This is called as trophic level of that organism. Okay, now there are mainly few types of the trophic levels. Okay, first trophic level, second trophic level, third trophic level, and fourth trophic level. That means first, second, third, and fourth. Generally, there are 4 trophic levels. No more trophic levels are there. There are some reasons for that. Okay, first we will see first trophic level. Okay, first trophic level means in that the producers are introduced. First trophic level is nothing but the producers. Producers are always at the base, that is first trophic level. That these are also called as the autotrophs. Autotrophs are nothing but the producers, and these are present in the first trophic level. Now coming to the next part, that is second trophic level. Second trophic level, that means the organisms which are feeds or which dependent on the another plants or producers. These are called as, these are under the second trophic level. These are also called as herbivorous because they feed on the plants, so they are called as herbivorous. These are at second trophic level. Now coming to the, or it is called as primary consumers. Okay, second trophic level, in that primary consumers are there, they are also called as herbivores. Then third trophic level, under that the animals which feeds on the primary consumers are under this third trophic level. These are called as carnivores. Okay, because they are feeding on the animals. So in the third trophic level, secondary consumers are there, they are also called as carnivores. Then fourth trophic level, in that the animals which dependent on the secondary consumers are at the fourth trophic level. Okay, these are also called as carnivores, top level carnivores. And as I earlier said that there are the organisms, that is secondary, tertiary consumers, or third and fourth trophic level organisms, they get minimum energy. Okay, so producers are more in number at the base, then from that producers, when we are coming, the number or the energy is going to decrease at the apex, at the narrower region. So in that all trophic levels, first trophic levels is of producers, second trophic level is of consumers, primary consumer, third trophic level is of secondary consumer, and fourth trophic level is tertiary consumer. Why it is only third or fourth trophic level? Because as soon as we are going to beyond that, the energy is going to reduce up to the zero level. That's why for that, to understand that, we need to know the 10% law, which is introduced by the Linderman. Okay, what is this 10% law? 10% law states that, you can see on your screen the picture, 10% law. On this trophic levels, there is a one diagram of a ecological pyramid, 10% law. For the 10% law, the producer level, at the base there is a producer level which is having 1000% of energy. Okay, 1000% of energy. Each 10% law is what? At each trophic level, in each tropical level, only 10% of energy is passes from the previous trophic level. That means from each trophic level, only 10% energy is transferred to the next trophic level. That means at the producer level, if it is 1000%, at the trophic level second, it is only 100% energy is transferred. At the trophic level third, only 10% of energy is transferred, and at the trophic level fourth, only 1% of energy it is transferred. And why it is stopped here? Because at the fifth trophic level, it becomes 0.1% energy, which is negligible. So there are limited trophic levels in each ecosystem by that 10% law. Okay, now this part of energy flow. In that next part is the ecological pyramid, we will see in the next lecture.